Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Unpacking Love. I'm so stoked to be on here to give you guys yet another episode in the love industry and the dating industry and the relationship industry. Is it even an industry, guys? Maybe it's not. But I'm so excited to introduce my amazing guest to you guys. We've got Margaret in the house. Hey girl, what's going on?
Hello. Super excited to be here, honestly.
I'm so excited to have you. I know you guys can't see her because, we're on audio right now, but this girl is fine 99. She's beautiful.
Come on, Michelle.
Inside, she is beautiful inside, but honey, you should see her outside because she's fire.
And
So
so are you.
you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm in the presence of greatness, guys. So I'm super excited to be having this guest on the show today. And for people who've been listening to the podcast for a long time, you would know that one of the earlier episodes that we had last year was a conversation I had with two ladies, and we were talking about dating younger men. So now we're on the flip side of things, and we're talking about dating older men, but we're talking about like 10 plus years older than the girl. Okay. So I'm so excited because I have a guest in here who's going to be sharing some of her tea and who has some experience with that. So you ready, Margaret? You ready to tell the people what's going on?
Yes, ma'am, I am. So, first of all, for me personally, right, I have actually dated a couple, I guess. And so yes, I have dated someone who is 10 plus years older.
Okay. I'm gonna
Hmm.
ask. I'm gonna be a little bit nosy here. So,
Okay.
you said it's
So
been a
please.
couple. You said it's been a couple, and a couple in America can be two, or it can be more than two. So that's your business. But what I want to know is what was the range, right? So of the guys who were much older than you that you dated,
Hmm.
the youngest of the older guys, how big was the age gap between you two?
Okay, so the youngest would be actually 12 years.
Okay.
Yes, so the youngest
And
would be 12.
and how about the oldest?
The oldest will be 17.
What, girl?
Yes.
Listen, I am the girl. I am so impressed. Okay, because clearly you can tell from my reaction, guys. I am actually. I'm not even a rookie because a rookie is when like you've tried something once or something, or like you're a newbie. I am like pre-rookie. Okay, I have never dated a man who is that much older than me. So this is gonna be interesting because I'll get to hear a different perspective and kind of hear from my guest here, from Margaret, how her experience has been dating these older guys. So now I have more questions, girl, about this.
Okay.
How did you meet these guys?
Okay, so the first one, it was actually like a double date, right? So I had a
Okay.
friend of mine, actually, yeah, I guess we could say I had a friend of mine, and I met this guy or whatever. It was like a games night. We go there, and then that's when I first met the first guy, actually.
Okay, so a games night. So you had gone with a friend, you said, right? And it was a double date.
Yes,
So was your friend also dating someone who was much older?
yes, she was also someone who was much older because they were cousins.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were like
Yeah,
friends dating cousins. Okay. Okay, girls.
yes, you know the drill.
Okay, sounds good. So you're at this games night, and then so who took interest in who? Was it you, or like was it the guy who was interested? Tell us what happened there.
Okay, so it was actually the guy, hey, and for me personally, I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all. So I was like, it is what it is. Let's go with the flow, and yeah, exchange numbers, and then started talking from there.
Okay. Did he look his age? So if someone looked at him, or like when you looked at him, could you tell that he was that much older than you? And is this the 12 years? Was this like the 17 years?
This is the 12.
Okay, the 12. So could you tell that there was like a 12-year age gap, or you couldn't really tell from looking at him?
You couldn't really tell, to be honest. He looked pretty young, to be honest. So that was a plus, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay, now always a plus. Okay. And then for the
Hmm.
one who was 17 years older than you, was he looking his age, or he wasn't really looking his age?
He wasn't at all. Hey, that's the funny thing is, I feel like most of them they don't actually really look their age. He looked way younger than his age.
Okay. So if he looks younger than his age, so let's say for the 17 age gap,
Mhm.
like how big a gap, right, are we closing? Are we saying like he only looked like he was 5 years older, or are you saying like he looked like he was your age, which is, I guess, 17 years younger than his current age?
Okay, so he looked like he was probably maybe 5 years younger than his current age.
Okay, okay, sounds good. So like
Mhm.
moderately younger, but you could still tell that, he's a bit more mature, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. And with the 17 age gap guy, 17-year age gap, how did you guys meet?
Okay, so it was actually through social media, Instagram. We just started
Oh,
talking. Yes.
no, 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 girl. Don't hit me with the we just started talking. Who hit up whose DMs? Because we need to know the play by play.
Okay, actually, it was him.
Okay.
He sent through a message on Instagram, and then that's how we started talking. At first I'm like, because he didn't really have much post on his page, so I was like,
Okay.
yeah. But then, because I'm not really one to really respond to messages like that on Instagram, but I was like, oh, it's whatever, really, why not? So that's how we
Okay.
started talking.
Okay. And when you say you're not really one to respond to messages like that, what did you say something that was like, like you could tell he was coming for you in a like, oh, he's pursuing you, or do you mean he just said hi?
Actually, he was asking questions. So he just responded to my story asking a question, and then the
Mm.
conversation started from there. So he was slick.
Okay, he was like, I'm gonna come in with
Yeah,
a question. Okay, okay, Mr.
right.
17 plus year age difference. And you know what? For the guys who are out there who are listening, hey, you never know. Maybe these salt and pepper zaddies can have some tips to take, right?
Agree.
But I guess 17-year age difference though. Are we talking salt and pepper, or like the salt part hasn't come out? Like the little white beers, have they started like coming through, or like not yet?
Okay, so yes, actually, they have.
Okay, okay. So
Yes.
she's had a little salt and pepper.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I guess maybe also it's because of his probably maybe his race too.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're going there today. Okay, okay. So what was this guy's race? Like the 17-year-old, 17 age gap one?
He was white.
Oh, he was white. How about the other one?
Mhm. Black.
Oh, okay. Diversification. Hey. Okay, sounds good. We're gonna learn a lot today. Okay, sounds good.
My.
I know you're like, girl, you're coming to my house today. Listen. Okay, sounds good. I think it's always fun to just like hear, how people meet and, kind of how things progress. So for the guys, and now I'm speaking more like in general, for the guys that you're with that were much older, how far did things progress, right? In terms of like, did you actually get into a relationship? Did you date for a while? Was it just going on dates? What's the tea there?
Okay, so actually none of them actually got to the point where we're talking relationships.
Okay.
It was all just a dating, getting to know each other, and then yeah, it ends there.
Okay, okay. And why did it end? Right? You don't have to tell us the specifics, but like, was it a common theme across all of them? It was like, okay, when you look at it, you're like, I'm the one who cut it off, or do you feel like it was more on the flip side?
Some of them actually. So it was some me, and
Okay,
then some they just go quiet too. So
okay,
yeah. So
okay,
kind of
okay.
both sides.
Okay, sounds good. And you know
Yeah.
what? I feel like we really went in on the first question, and you're like, "Girl, you're grilling me." I know, I know. So I'll answer because people who are listening will be like, "Michelle is not really spilling her own tea." So you can probably
Mhm.
tell from my own reactions that wow, like I said, I am below rookie level for this. I haven't dated somebody who's much older, and maybe I should talk about like my range, my age range, right?
Yes, please.
Well, I'm not going to tell you guys about the younger side of things, but I'm going to tell you about the older side of things. I feel like I would go plus 5 years. Like
Okay.
plus 6 would be like, oh, we're starting to like push it, push it. Like plus 5, I feel like is the most that I would go. And so when things start to, trickle into like the, 5 to 10, maybe I would say if I'm gonna really push it, we could go to 7. But I guess the moment we're crossing over
Mhm.
past 7, that is a very uncomfortable territory. And especially now when we're like, in the double digits, right? Like 10, 20
Right.
plus years. And I don't know what it is, to be honest. I think maybe the people that I have seen, it could be that the people that I've seen who are like much older, like if a guy was 17 years older than me or 20 years older than me, it was clearly visible, right? Like maybe if I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna be with somebody like Usher Raymond, because I love Usher, guys. Oh, I love that
Oh
man.
my.
Ah, I love him. So fine. I'm sure our age difference is up there. So like if it was somebody who like did not look their age and like they were fly and like they looked my age, I could potentially do it. I could potentially do it, right? But the people who
Right.
I've seen who are like in the double digits kind of age gap with me, I could always tell that they're older. And there's something that's just icky for me. I feel like especially the moment that we're going like in the 20-year range, like I feel like I'm dating my parents. I can't.
Oh
Like
my.
there's no way. Like even 17, I think it's creepy to think about it this way. But I'm like, look, at
Really?
yeah, at like 17, a person can be a dad. So honestly, if like I'm gonna be with somebody and they're 17 years older than me, it really gives me father vibes, not zaddy vibes. Father vibes. Like I'm
Father.
dating a man who is like
That is
my
too
father's age.
funny.
So that's why I think I've just never done it because it makes me uncomfortable because I feel like I'm trickling into like father's age, and then it's kind of like okay, like if I am to be with someone, which honestly I don't think I can get myself to be with someone who's that much older than me. But let's say in the event that I was to be with somebody who's much older, just like I can't even imagine how the conversation would go with my parents. I cannot be introducing my parents to their mates. I can't be like, oh, you know, your son-in-law is your buddy who you went to college with. Like there's no way. There's no way.
Right.
So
Especially
yeah,
African parents.
yes, exactly, exactly. So that's why, like, for me, honestly, it just comes from that, like the whole father thing, and also I think just when I see somebody who's much older, it's just not my cup of tea. I just would not
Mm-hmm.
be attracted to them. And I know that you said, you know, for some of the guys that you spoke to or like that you went on dates with, they approached you. For me, it's even at a level where like someone, if I can see that you're like that much older than me and you're approaching me, I
Mm-hmm.
literally just like shut down. Like I can't, like
Oh.
my body shuts down. I can't even like engage in conversation. Or if the conversations are gonna happen, you better be asking me for like directions to go somewhere. And I'm just gonna tell you like
Girl.
take the third left turn or something because I'm shutting that down. I don't even want like potential for anything to happen with this person. So I'm on the extreme side. But I'm glad that I have a guest here who has, you know, has gone through it and who can share her perspective because it makes it more fun. So, girl, let's go with this. So, seeing that you have dated guys who are much older, would
Mm-hmm.
you do it again?
Yes and yes.
Okay. Take a little dance, guys. Okay. Okay. I love it. I love it. So, why would you do it again? Or, like, maybe, why would you do it again? Why did you do it? Just let us in on all of that.
Okay, so first of all, to be honest, I don't think I've ever been really age conscious. I feel
Okay.
like probably maybe if it gets too much, because I feel like if it's like a 20-year age difference, that's too much for me now. If it's something like that, that's a bit too much. So I feel
Okay.
like with the guys that I've dated so far, it's okay.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So what drew you to these guys? And like why would you say you would want to do it again? Right? There has to have been some good stuff that came out of it that would make you be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do this again.
Okay, so the first thing is I wouldn't say maturity, but then just that level of communication, right? Where I can
Mm,
communicate with someone, and if I'm not happy about something, I can clearly say it, and they'll understand, I guess, on that
mm,
part.
mm.
And also, I plan, not I plan, but I want to get married soon, hopefully by the grace of God. And honestly
Amen,
speaking,
Jesus.
I feel like ever since, honestly, Michelle, ever since I started talking to the first guy who was a bit older than me, I
Mhm.
didn't really see myself going back or dating someone who was younger.
Okay.
To start talking to someone younger, it feels off because I don't know, I'm just so used to it and I like it better that way. Also because I guess the guys my age now, most of them, or I don't know, they're still making most of them don't really think about marriage. And also with guys, it's kind of a bit
Mm,
different because with guys, they could get married when they're 40, when they're whatever age. And I feel like these guys that are a bit older, they're
mhm.
most likely ready to settle down. So on
Okay.
that part, it's if I am to talk to someone, they can provide that security that I want in a man.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay, girl. Okay. So I'm getting that, like, level of communication. Like you said, you feel like you can express your feelings if you're upset, about something, and they can handle it because they're mature. And I'm guessing
Hmm.
on the flip side too, because they're much older, they have experienced things in life and, multiple relationships. So they are probably going to be better communicators. I mean, honestly, if you've gone through like so many years of dating and you still don't know how to communicate, there has to be something wrong with you. So I'm guessing they're also pretty good at, communicating what they want as well, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. And then the second thing, the big piece that I got from what you're saying is level of commitment, where it's like, the wider the gap, the more willing they are to, like, want to settle down with you. And
Hmm.
especially if you're a woman who's looking to settle down, it can be difficult depending on like what age you're at, right? But like it can be difficult to find guys your age, or in your like +2 age range who would
Hmm.
like to get married. And so these guys can provide that. And you also mentioned a very good word here. You mentioned stability. Okay. Stability. We
Yes.
love to hear it. So, girl, let's talk about this stability thing. Okay. Can we talk about the bag? Is the bag secure the higher
Yes,
you go?
girl, we can.
Listen, because right now we're gonna call the kettle black. If it's black, we're gonna call it black. So when you say
Yes.
stability, what are we talking about? Are we talking about finances? What's the tea?
Yes, finances, honestly, because let's be honest, no woman wants a man that's not financially stable. So yeah. For me personally, I want my man to be financially stable. You need to be able to take care of me, maintain my type of lifestyle, you
Mm.
know. So yes.
Okay, okay. So maintain your lifestyle. And actually, can we get a little bit more into your philosophy, right? Like in a relationship or when you
Hmm.
envision marriage, right? Do you see
Hmm.
yourself being in a situation where you split bills, or you're saying he needs to be able to take up all the bills?
So he needs to definitely be able to take care of all the bills, to be honest,
Okay.
because initially I want to get married to a traditional man, God willingly.
Okay.
So yeah, so he has to take over, take charge. I do my part, he does his, and we're a team. We're good to go.
Okay, girl. Okay, so like more traditional gender roles is what you subscribe
Yes.
to. Is it subscribe or
Hmm.
ascribe? Guys, you know that the English on this podcast sometimes we're going left, but you know what? It's okay. Okay, sounds good. So in that sense, of you looking for like a traditional man, so for you, would you be more of like the traditional wife, or like, yeah, traditional quote unquote, right? Like from the past, where we talk about like, the woman does like the cooking and cleaning and taking care of the home, that kind of stuff. Do you
Yay.
want to work or you don't want to work?
I do want to work, probably maybe have like my own business, but then at the same time, just focusing more on my home and my family, my husband,
Okay.
my kids, and yeah.
Ha, guys, can you hear this? There's a woman. If you want if you're into the traditional type of relationship, here's a woman right here. I don't even know if she's single or not, but here I am just saying, guys, look, women like these, they exist. They exist.
We're here.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so I think that makes sense on the, the financial stability aspect of it. So now a
Hmm.
question, right, that comes up, because obviously the older somebody is, the more life experiences they have, right? So
Right.
I guess for you, from your experience, have you been in situations where you were with somebody who had kids, or somebody who was divorced, or somebody who, like had a baby mama? Like what's the story there? Because I think the older people get, the more complicated life can be.
Yes. Oh, honestly, okay. So first thing is like this first guy actually was 12 years older than me. He had
Hmm.
a kid and a baby mama. So with that, I mean, he loved his kid, of course, and we stand a man that loves his kids. He takes
Yes.
responsibility
Hmm.
and all that. But what really egged me with this guy, to be honest, Michelle, this man, he You literally brought up the baby mama all the time. Maybe we're having a conversation because the one time we went grocery shopping, right? And then he asked me, he's like, so have you ever been grocery shopping with a man before? So I was like, no, actually I haven't, right? And then I asked him, how about you? And then he's like, yeah, I used to stay with my baby mama or whatnot. And literally every conversation, we had, she had to somehow be included in that. So that was kind of a bit off for me.
Okay.
So that was a lot.
Did you feel like it was a lot because you thought there was still something going on? Like you still had feelings, or what made it a lot?
Yes, I feel like because they were still in contact, and I mean, they're co-parenting too, so they have to stay in contact.
Mhm.
It's also kind of a bit ish. I wouldn't want to be in a situation like that again, Michelle. Honestly speaking, that situation, I don't, no, I don't think I would ever want to be in that situation again, where like someone has a baby, and the baby mama as well, because it's a lot. They're still going to be in contact, and these are people that they're exes. They loved each other at some point. Maybe they still do love each other, and the
Mhm.
reason why they weren't together also, that was also a bit off, was because he wasn't into marriage. Like he didn't believe in
Uh-oh.
marriage.
Ooh, walking red flag is what this man was. Okay.
Walking red billboard.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, his relationship didn't work out because he didn't even want to marry. So, for you, if we go back to like the whole thing that you're looking for, like stability, a man who would be willing to settle down, this guy was not, succeeding on that front.
Hmm.
So, okay. So now what I'm getting is, it sounds like to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like not you would not really want to be in a situation where there are children and a baby mama involved, whether it's like an ex-wife or like an ex-girlfriend or like a baby mama. Like you just wouldn't want something like that. Did I get that correctly?
Yes, I wouldn't. Just come by yourself. Just come as you are.
She said, "Come as you are with the bag, please," and that's it. That's it. That's all I really
Yes.
ask. That's all I really
Mm-mm.
ask. Okay, now I want to talk more about like the perks, right? The perks of
Okay.
dating an older man who's more mature. His bag is more mature. His back is more secure. Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, if you were to compare how the older guys treated you versus
Hmm.
how like the guys who are younger compared to these gentlemen treated
Hmm.
you, what would you say about it? Are men treating you the same across the board regardless of the age, or do you feel like the treatments got a bit different as you got up there?
Okay, so I feel like the treatment is a bit different. It's kind of the
Okay.
same, but it's different. Where there's a big difference, honestly speaking, is the financial side. Let me not even lie. It's the financial side. So it's like because they're more, I guess, financially stable, they're not willing, but then they do things that are, extra that, the younger, I guess, guys won't really be able to do yet. Maybe because some are still in college or they're still, making their way up there. So
Okay,
in
okay.
terms of the financial side, I would say that there's a big difference, honestly speaking. And the understanding part on my part, actually, just yeah, more understanding, to be honest.
Okay, sounds good. So
Yes.
like you feel like guys who are older would be more understanding of what, of like your passions or of your feelings, or like just understanding of life in general.
Yes, understanding of life in general, because they have so much experience with life in itself.
Mm.
So yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, before we go back to the the biggest difference being finances, I did want to say, like, I have one of my good friends who's married to a guy who's much older than her, and something that
Hmm.
she always said, or that she always says, is that something she appreciates about her husband is the fact that he's kind of become like her financial mentor, right? Because he's a
Hmm.
businessman and he's started a bunch of businesses, or like just done a whole lot of things, and so she says she learns a lot from him because he has
Right.
the life experiences, right? And because even if we talk about business, like just being business minded or starting businesses, he's had an opportunity to start things, see them fail. And so the mistakes that he went through, she doesn't have to go through because he tells her, right? Like how to kind of handle some of those things. So I can definitely see the appreciation of the wisdom that comes with the older men. Now, let's go back to the bag, please. Let us go back to the bag. Because you said, honey, listen, there's a difference between the bag of an older man and the bag of a younger man, and rightfully so, right? So what I want to know is, can you tell us some of the lavish things that these older guys got you, right? Whether it was like, items or experience. I want to know. Please share.
Okay, so I guess we could say just being flown out. I mean, that's norm, but
Again, for the people in the back, say it again, please.
I mean, just getting flown out, that's normal, right?
Come on, come on. Hey, don't say that's normal. I'm telling you, not everybody gets flown out in this world. Okay, some people be flying themselves out. Wow. Okay, sounds good. So you were getting flown out. Was it a long distance type of situation, or was this being flown out to go on trips together, like vacations?
Okay, so we didn't actually end up going on that vacation with this guy, and he was actually 15 years older.
Okay.
We could call him my favorite actually out of
Hey! Okay, favorite puppy. Okay, 15. Sis, I'm taking notes. Okay. Okay, why was he
But
your
yeah.
favorite? And tell us about the trip. What happened there? Why didn't it happen?
Okay, so just a lot happened, but just in short, I actually just flew out to him once, because he stayed in a different state. But why? To answer your question, why is he the favorite? I think it's because he was just different. Like, I don't know how to explain, but then there was just something about him, honestly speaking. Till this day, I don't know what it is, but he was just different, honestly speaking. Like, even
Mm,
right now, I'm just smiling because just different.
it sounds like you're about to catch a flight tomorrow that you didn't pay for, girl. You're about to be like,
Uh-uh.
hey, boo, I'm free now. Okay. And you said this was kind of like I guess a long distance situation. So had you guys met on
Yes.
Instagram? Is that the story?
No, actually, we didn't meet on Instagram. We met in person because there was a time just a lot was going on, and we met at a hotel.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how we started talking, hung out for a little bit. And because he's not from the town where I'm from, he
Mhm.
had to leave. And then that's when I ended up going to visit him. And he's always busy too because of his occupation. So yeah.
Okay. How about on the allowance side? Do these guys ever give you like just spending money? Now I'm curious.
Okay, so with that, no, but then I have had just being given money. I guess maybe we could call it allowance.
Uh-huh.
One of those, do you want to go get your nails done? And then, okay, do you have Zelle? Yes. Or maybe I say, okay, I'm at the mall, and then they just send money, okay, maybe get something for yourself, something like that.
Okay. And this is happening across the board, like across all ages, or are we talking about, the older gentlemen?
The older gentleman.
Okay.
I guess the other ones would be just like my birthday
Mm.
just came by, and to be honest, I really felt like a princess. Like this man, he really went above and beyond for my birthday. Took me shopping,
Ooh.
and we had dinner after. So that was really special, to be honest, because it's like actually with this one, we had actually just started talking on Instagram, and then he's like, no, I want to spend your birthday with you. So I was like, okay, sure. I don't have any plans. So he took me out shopping,
Okay.
and I think he blew like 5K.
Oh, snap. Oh,
Yes.
snap. Girl, you know what? You're like, oh, he took me shopping and then we went for dinner. I was like, oh, okay. What do you mean okay, can you please elaborate on the shopping that was done here?
Yeah, so we met in Neiman Marcus, just did a little bit of shopping, got some designer bags, designer
Okay, now.
shoes, some glasses, some perfume. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, and he was willing to spend. How much older was this guy?
13.
Oh, 30. Okay. Hey, listen, when I tell you my guest here has experience, we've heard about 12, we've heard about 17, we've heard about 15, and now we've heard about 13. Okay. Wow. 13 is where you get the 5K, guys. Y'all better take notes because 13 is where that. I love that. But that is really sweet. On a more serious note, because I was looking at your Instagram story, I think, and you did post it on your Instagram story, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, girl. I was like, oh, my girl here is having the time of her life, with her boo bag. Because you know how we are as girls, you just don't post the guy. But it was sweet. It was a really, really nice day for you. So I'm glad you got to experience that.
Honestly.
So if you can think of some downsides to being with them, one of the ones that we spoke about here was, I guess the older they get, sometimes, you have the baby mama situations going on, which, it's gonna differ from person to person how they handle that. Are there any other downsides that you see to dating older guys?
I feel like the manipulation. I feel like to a certain point, because
Mm,
I feel like some men think that they're older, some like they know everything, or
mm,
maybe yeah. So with that, it's just kind of a bit off, especially when you see that, oh, this person thinks because I'm young, then I'm going to be
mm-hmm,
naive. But no, 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 no. So then just, having guys that have that mentality that, hey, I can just toss her around or like do whatever, or just goes for like a week or 2 weeks and then just come back whenever I feel like it and she'll still be there. But no, no, it's not about
mm,
that.
mm-hmm,
The reason why I'm talking to you is because I like you, right? And for me personally speaking, also I date for, I guess, marriage being the end goal. Like if we're getting to know each other, then it's
mm-hmm,
only you that I'm talking to as well.
mm.
So yeah.
Okay. So like the manipulation and kind of thinking that, oh, because you're much younger, they know more than you you do, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a really good call out because I think just, from my theoretical standpoint of things, having not experienced this myself, I do think that part of what makes life enjoyable is to try things and see if they will work for you or if they won't work
Hmm.
out for you, right? So if you do have somebody who's going to be like almost not like a parent, but like somebody who's like much older than you, who's telling you like, oh, I wouldn't do this because it's not going to work because of XYZ, right? Then there is a little bit of that control or like a little bit of that you don't have as much freedom as you would with someone who doesn't have as much of a life experience as this person does, right? Because they have so much
Hmm.
in terms of experience, they feel like whatever comes out of their mouth is just pure wisdom. But sometimes you want to just, experience life for yourself without having somebody tell you
Right.
how to go about things. So yeah, so I think that's definitely like one of the downsides for sure.
Another downside as well would be because they've been in the game for a long time, honestly speaking, just they've probably had other relationships with other women that have lasted for maybe 5 years plus or 3 years or even longer, right? And they have a connection, right? And then there's just
Mm-hmm.
the me, Margaret, there, young girl and whatnot. It kind of gets a bit not intimidating, but it's like they were with someone before you. Could it be that they got away, or maybe like one of them was telling me that the lady was ready to get married, but he wasn't, and he had to let her go because she was ready to get married and he wasn't. So with things like that, the fact that someone still, I guess, says things like that, it's also like, do you miss her? Is she the one that got away? Those type of vibes. So it's kind of a bit like, am I really your dream girl, or what?
Right. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think the difference with dating somebody who's your age or like, a couple years older, right? Like 2 years older, is they've had probably like, the same. I mean, of course, people have different experiences, but maybe they've had kind of like the same number of exes as you've had. And they haven't
Hmm.
had the opportunity to like, date twice as many people as you've dated or be, in three times the number of be in relationships with three times the number of people you've been in relationships with. So there is that risk with this, like, oh, there are a lot of long-term relationships, a lot of strings that might still be attached to other people out there. So I
Right.
totally get that. I would also think that one of actually one of my friends,
Mhm.
she used to date guys who are way older than her, and something that she mentioned was that she felt intimidated in the sense that when she would think about the, like, of course the boyfriend she was with was like faithful to her or whatever, but then whenever they would go to like social settings and there were, women who were older than my friend, right? It could
Mhm.
be like maybe 5 years older than my friend, whereas like the boyfriend is like 15 years older. So this woman is still 10 years younger than her boyfriend, right? But because this
Right.
woman is 5 years older than her, she's like, oh my gosh, maybe he sees this woman as like a better option because, she is more stable. We're talking about being stable in life. If you're,
Right.
say, 25 and you're dating somebody who's 15 years older, so the person is 40, and then you go to like an event and then there's this 32-year-old woman who's an investment banker or who's a lawyer who's killing it in her career, and you're still trying to establish yourself, there's that intimidation factor of like, oh, I haven't made it, right? Like what does he
Mhm.
see in me? Because there are other women out there who could be way younger than him still and just bring more to the table. So I feel like there could be that intimidating factor. But I don't know if you felt that, or for you that wasn't really something you were concerned with.
To be honest, it is actually, now that you said it, because I was having a conversation with one of them, and then they mentioned that they had been with like a nurse practitioner, a lawyer, just like all these big titles. Like these are women that are established, that have their things going on well for themselves, and then there's just me. I'm still in school. So yeah, like why me,
Mm,
at the
gotcha.
same time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have a question. Let's go back to the birthday splash, right? Like this
Mhm.
5K birthday splash. This guy, you said you kind of just started speaking to him, right?
Right.
And he blew this money, on you.
Mhm.
Did you feel like, oh my gosh, maybe now I owe this guy something, or was this a gift at the end of the day?
Okay, so for me, okay, also with this guy too, I forgot to mention, it was my first time meeting him too.
Okay.
So
Oh
it
wow. Oh,
yes,
stop. Oh my gosh. The storyline is just wow. Okay.
but yeah, he's Nigerian, so you know how Nigerian men are. In regards to him, right? I didn't, personally speaking, because it's like it's a gift, and someone has said, okay, so I want to take you out for your birthday, and just, I guess, making my day more special. So I took it
Mm,
like that. Even till now as well, I would expect that, honestly, I feel like it's more about boundaries, Michelle. And
okay.
I have my boundaries, and as a Christian woman too, I have my boundaries. So obviously,
Mm,
there's certain things that I'm not going to do, right?
okay.
So in regards to maybe sex or whatnot, like I am not going to do that,
Okay. Okay.
So as soon as I see that this person is crossing my boundary, then I leave, because we're not about to do that. We're not about to do that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So you take it more like a gift, and then as long as the person is not trying to cross any boundaries, it's all good in the hood.
Yes.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Oh, I think this was really, really solid. So now we know about like, the perks that come with this and then some of like, the downsides that come with it. So thank you so much for sharing. Now, my question would be, let's switch to the family side of things, right? So you did say that when you're dating with your eye on marriage, right? So you're trying to see if this
Mhm.
person would be somebody who you would marry. Have you I guess, have you ever thought about, say, how your family would take you dating someone who's way older? Say, let's take the guy who was 17 years older than you. Would that be something
Mhm.
that your family would be okay with? Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I come from a traditional family home, so I feel like it would be an issue. Yes, it would be an issue, but I feel like with time, they would have to understand, honestly, because that's the person that I brought home.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they would have to understand with time, and also just being a firstborn child as well, girl child.
Mm,
As long as I have my degree, I feel like at the end of the day, they're gonna have to accept, because this is the person that I've brought home, and yeah, and also if if it's God ordained, then yeah, they can't say no because God has said yes.
Okay. She said, let me bring God into this. Okay, okay.
Yes.
And what are some of those concerns that you feel like your family would have, right? Because you said they'll probably have a hard time in the beginning, but then they'll come to a point of acceptance. What do you think would give them a hard time about this?
I think just the experience part, because it's like this person has experienced so much, and at the same time, why aren't they married when they're this age? I feel like they would kind of question all those things, like, is there something about him? Why isn't he married if he's, this
Mm,
age and whatnot? So I feel like things like that they would really question, especially if he is maybe 17 years older than me, like we're saying. They would then question that, like, why didn't he marry? Why
mm,
now? So, yeah, I
I see.
feel
I
like that would
see.
be a yes, I feel like that would be the biggest concern.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I definitely
Mhm.
know my family would have an issue with this. Uh, they would definitely have an issue with this. And I feel like it would be asked to me in Shona, "Warume wapi really?" Which, translated for like to the rest of the world, it's kind of like, man, have you really run out of options? What's going
Right.
on over here, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think yeah, that would definitely be a big thing. And to your point, I think there would be a lot of questions about this person's past. And like I said earlier, right, the older somebody is, the more likely they are to have experienced certain things, like, getting
Right.
married, like divorce or like having children. And God forbid if it's children with different women, that's even another beast on its own. So I
Right.
think they'll just be like, there'll just be like a lot of digging that would be done by the family. And yeah, I mean, like, it would make me very uncomfortable. So I think, yeah, I think a big part of why I don't date way older
Mhm.
men is just for me, it gives me the ick because I'm like, mm-mm. That's like being with
It's a no for you.
my father's and my uncle's mate. So it's a no for me. But then another piece of it, which is much smaller, would be how would I even present it, to my family that this is the one out of all the worlds, this is the man that I have found. So yeah, so there's that. Switching a little bit, talking more about your experiences, did you ever experience some sort of stigma from society or like judgment from friends or cousins or people who knew about the people who you dated? Or are people pretty, modernized?
So really, my business is not really out there. So in terms of like friends wise, probably maybe like two friends,
Okay.
no. And then like on the other side, I actually did have a conversation with my mom about one of the guys, I guess favorite one.
Oh,
So
okay.
she just asked like, okay, how old is he? So when I told her, she's like, why? Why, She was very concerned, and it was giving no, like no.
Okay.
So yeah, just I guess from her, one of those, yeah, you might want to, not put yourself in that type of situation. Like what do you guys even talk about?
Wow, that's a good
So
one. I didn't even think about that. What do you guys talk about? And what did you say? What did you say to her?
I mean, I kind of had to brush off the conversation. And for me personally, I feel like I was not getting too comfortable with her. Like, okay, I think I should stop.
Oh man,
So,
like what your mom brought up just brought another reason for me
hmm
personally. That yeah, and it's personal, guys. Like I have no problem with people doing their own thing. But for me personally, me and my house, like one
hmm
of the downsides to being with somebody who's significantly older, right? Yeah,
hmm
let's say you're like 20 years older than me. Like I have energy right now for days. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, okay, now let me say this. I don't have the energy I had when I was 20. Let me say that.
hmm
But I still have a lot of energy. And so if you're like 20 years older than me, there is the issue of you're gonna like really domesticate me. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to fly out. I'm trying to see the world. And
Right.
at some point, as people mature, they just want to chill for the most part. You want to be like home. You want to be like, seeing your wife there. And I'm trying to be catching flights, just doing a whole bunch of things. I'm trying to be in Dubai, like with the funny head wrap thing in the desert. And this
Yes.
guy, this guy is trying to chill. His vacation is to just like lay down somewhere on like a, sand or whatever. Right. So I
Right.
think there's that where like sometimes the age gap, and also it varies from person to person, because just because somebody is 20 years older than you does not necessarily mean that they don't have energy and they don't want to do fun things. But for the
Mhm.
most part, their age mates don't want to do fun things. You know what I mean? They just want to go outside and play golf and come back, call it a day. So I'm
Agreed.
trying to have experiences, and if I'm going to be with somebody, I'm trying to share those experiences with you. And so if you're much older than me, there's a chance that you're not going to be into the experiences I'm into, and that's a problem. And
Mhm.
then also let's talk about just life in general. Now, of course, we know that God is the one who gives life and God is the one who takes away life, right?
That's true.
Um when the age gap is so big, I'm now with somebody who's like 30 years older than me.
You're
You
right.
know, I'm 40, he is 70, right? Like he's getting
Ish.
closer. He's getting closer to hey, I mean, let's just face the facts and let's face the numbers, okay? So I think there's also like that risk of the
Mhm.
bigger that age gap is, right?
Oh,
Assuming that we're all
yes.
gonna live to 100. Let's just assume, and that's a very big assumption. Let's say God willing,
Yes.
He is going to live to 100, and God willing, I'm gonna live to 100. Well, He's gonna get to
Mhm.
100 30 years before I do, and so here I am now. I'm 70, and He's gone. So there's that, but yeah.
Agreed. Oh my.
That's my thought. But, obviously that's drastic, right? Like if you're 40 and
Mhm.
you're with someone who's 70, obviously that's drastic. But then it might not be the case when you're 40 and is 55. 15 years might not be as big a gap. So, like I always say, guys, to each their own. If this is your cup of tea, then hey, go for it.
Yes, now that you actually mentioned that, because I'm also thinking, now imagine something that I actually really did think about was kids as well. I'm
Mhm.
thinking, okay, they probably maybe growing up, maybe the dad is gonna be a bit older and whatnot, and then just maybe they're 10 and maybe he's 60 or he's 50. That also plays a big role in their lives too, and it's a lot, I guess.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and especially if like the dad is gonna be 70, the mom is gonna be 40, and the child is gonna be 10. Like at this point, you have a 60-year age gap with your dad. Your dad is like a grandfather. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what's going on? What is going on? So,
Yep.
hey, for anyone who's listening who does have a big age gap that's working for them, I'm really happy for you, honestly. But this is just
Mhm.
me, and just my little thoughts about this. Okay, so cool. Let us now bring it all together. So, if you were to give advice to a woman who's listening, who's contemplating dating a man who's, 10 plus years older than her, what kind of advice would you give her?
Okay, so first of all, I feel like with what I've experienced so far is just making sure you're one step ahead of the game and making sure that whatsoever, like you're not in some sort being manipulated. So just being one step ahead of the game and just making sure that they're not walking all over you, and just because you're young it doesn't mean that you don't know anything, in as much as yes they
Mm.
experience. So then just yeah, just making sure that they're not walking all over you, and just because they tell you to jump, you shouldn't say how high, because they're older. Step your ground, or just, your foot on the ground, and just know your worth as well. Know that, your boundaries also, they shouldn't cross your boundaries, and standing firm in your boundaries as well, and knowing your worth, as a woman, and just having high standards as well.
Hmm.
Because I feel like in society now, just because I feel like also another thing, Michelle, I feel
Hmm.
like because men who are single, right, that are older, I feel
Hmm.
like they also have this mentality that a lot of women want, they want me, especially if they're handsome too. Why?
Mm.
Because they're financially stable, and maybe they might use that, I guess, as like to an advantage, maybe to say that women want me because I'm financially stable, and you having them do something to you because you're scared that they'll leave, you're scared that they'll go. So no, just standing your ground, knowing your worth as a woman, and also not forgetting to pray and to pray and to pray. Honestly speaking, prayer is
Mm,
just, like you meet someone, pray about it too, because sometimes you never know what you're getting yourself into. There are things like juju
mm.
these days.
Ooh,
So
child. For those people who are listening who don't know what juju is black magic. Okay.
yeah, so there's things like black magic too. So I guess also praying and for discernment too. You meet someone, if something is a bit off, you back off. So yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Oh my gosh, that was a solid list. I love how you're bringing in all these things like knowing your worth, setting your boundaries, making sure they're not stepped all over, making sure that
Mm-hmm.
you're respected and that you still have a voice in the relationship. Because just because you're younger doesn't mean that you don't know anything. I absolutely, absolutely love that. I think also it's just important for you to reflect as a person and know what you want, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that there can be positives that come out of being open-minded too. And look at me speaking even to myself that, you know what, there can be positives that come out from, being open-minded too. Now, is that to say I will
Mm-hmm.
expand my range from +5 to +25? Maybe not, but does it mean that we're inching closer to 10? Next episode will tell. We don't know. But anyway, if I'm being serious though, like it is, maybe there is something out there for you, right? So for some people who've always tied themselves to, I will only date someone who's maximum 2 years older than me. Maybe there is something to say about dating someone who's 5 years older than you and just to
Mm-hmm.
learning. And also I think something to bring up, having listened to everything that Margaret has said, if you know your worth and you have your boundaries and all of that stuff and you've prayed about it, maybe there's no harm in you just going on dates, because
Mm-hmm.
dating shows you what you're looking for versus what you're not looking for, right? So when you're going on a date with someone, it doesn't mean that you're gonna marry them, right?
Right.
It just means that you're gonna see like, oh, okay, so some men treat women like this, or like, do I like being treated like this? Do I like being talked to like this? So sometimes it's good to just try something so that, maybe when you say you would never do something, it's because you've experienced it versus not experiencing it. Before Margaret and I jump into the outro for this episode, I'm actually adding something during the editing process. And this is something that I heard from a woman who's married to someone, and their age gap is plus 15 years. So I'm going to share with you the cons that she gave as well as some advice. So there are pros. The pros that she gave me were the pros that we covered in the episode, but there were some cons that we did not go over that she added. One of the cons that she brought up was that because there's a big age gap between the husband and the wife, it can be very difficult to have events with other couples or to meet up with each other's friends just because there's that age difference, right? And so you end up having one of the parties, feeling awkward or feeling out of place if it's not their type of people that they usually hang out with. The other thing that came up was that with older men, some of them can be very ambitious. So I think it's very interesting because I think for some older men, they're now more chill, right? They've established everything. But then depending on personality, for some other older men, they're actually more on their grind than what younger men would be up for, right? And so something that came up was that because they can be so ambitious and so on the grind, and also I guess they're trying to provide for, families, and sometimes maybe it's a bigger family than like a younger guy would have. They're just on the go. And so while the wives or the girlfriends get to enjoy, the perks of the hard work, they also tend to lose out on the quality time, which is something that you wouldn't really see in a marriage or in a relationship where the age gap is much smaller. Something else that came up was that in marriage, sometimes, depending on how big that gap is, right? So let's say we're talking about something like 25 years or, even 20 years or whatever. What can happen is that the older man's sexual desires might be, more diminished compared to their younger partner. So like the younger partner might be like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. But then they're more like on the chill side. And so the sex drive difference could also just be another thing that would make it a bit more difficult or more challenging in relationships or in marriages where, there's a bigger age gap. And then on the advice side of things, something that she said was that, when you marry or when you go into the relationship with someone who's way older than you, make sure that you're going into it solely because of the love that you have for this person. So don't do it for the money. Don't do it for anything else outside of the fact that you genuinely love this person and you genuinely feel so connected to them. Because, the way she put it, because marrying or dating an older man is not an easy thing. It's not as easy as it looks. And love is the only thing that will keep you together regardless of the challenges that come. So that's that from her. Now we're going to hop into the outro with Margaret. I think this is a sweet spot to end this episode on. Thank you so much, Margaret, for sharing first of all, your wisdom, and also for sharing the tea, girl, because we love the tea. We love the tea. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I had such a good time with you.
Thank you for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed being here and conversing with you.
It was so fun. And for anybody who's listening, all my ladies who are like, oh, we need to learn more about this dating older men, feel free to hit me up on Instagram at Unpacking Love, and I will pass on your questions to Margaret and then hear what her answers are and share those answers with you guys. Thank you so much, all of you who listen to the podcast. I really appreciate it. Make sure you go and you rate the podcast on Spotify, on Apple, or whatever platform you're listening to. Okay, let's make sure we put those stars on the podcast, guys. Till next time. Peace.
Bye.